The Bama Insider Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad. With Rivals Bama Insider Managing Editor Kyle Henderson and former Crimson Tide Sports Network broadcaster and SEC Network play-by-play voice Mick Gillespie. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show is brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play. Bama Buggy, best price, best selection, best service. Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. Rounders on the Strip, Vegas-style bar with the best rooftop in Tuscaloosa. Allstate agent Andrew Knipper. You're in good hands with Allstate. Innisfree, an Alabama Irish pub tradition. Tuscaloosa Tourism and Sports. Not too small, not too big. Tuscaloosa is pronounced just right. NewLifeArt.com, publisher of fine art editions by Daniel A. Moore. Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. R&R Cigar in downtown Tuscaloosa, home of the Victory Cigar.
Also brought to you by Hotel Indigo, Tuscaloosa's amazing upscale boutique lodging in downtown. The Floor Bama, world-famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach. Commercial banker Jay Weber with Service First Bank Fairhope.
And now, here are Kyle and Mick.
What do you say, everybody? Great to have you with us as we get set for Alabama football. Welcome to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Our show is presented by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. And for the next 2 hours, we're going to preview Alabama versus Ohio State in the national championship game from Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, 7 o'clock. On today's show, we got Lance Taylor from Jocks. He's going to help us out with a breakdown of this game. And, of course, he's from Jocks Roundtable and also Lance's Lock. Chris Lowe from ESPN, the senior writer, is here for a segment. He's going to talk about this game, but I'm really pleased to be joining with two of my buddies, two guys that know a lot about Alabama football. Of course, I'm Mick Gillespie. It's great to have the managing editor of the Alabama rival site, Kyle Henderson, and Chad Anderson, longtime friend and a longtime familiar voice of Alabama, hanging out with us tonight as we talk a little football. First off, Kyle, we're finally here.
Yeah, we're finally here at the national championship game. I mean, what a season it's been for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, for all the things that went wrong in 2020, Alabama did everything right. I mean, this team cannot stop winning. Even last night when we're just kind of hanging back watching some NFL games, this is Saturday night, we're talking about Thomas Fletcher wins a long snapper of the year award. The kid has started 56 consecutive games. So Alabama completely having a dominant season, and they're going to have their hands full with Ohio State as we go into this championship game.
Well, Chad, this is what it's all about right now. Ohio State and Alabama, you're talking about two undefeated teams. Second straight year that we've had two undefeated teams play for the title. Alabama has played a lot more games, 12-0. Ohio State 7-0. But they're still playing, and no one has lost yet.
I believe it's the third straight year we've had an undefeated national championship scene, because Alabama and Clemson were both undefeated in 2018, LSU Clemson last year, Alabama Ohio State this year. To me, it's what a relief, and how amazing is it that we're even talking in this setting. And whether you agree Ohio State should be in or should not be in, how about just the fact that we were probably, a few days away from the college football season not existing 4 or 5 months ago. And here we are now talking about two undefeateds, a perfect storyline matchup, two blue bloods, just the prime universities. And as many times as Alabama, Clemson, and Ohio State have made it, Bama and Ohio State have only played once in the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see the gridiron, how it shakes out tomorrow night. And then also, we can talk about it later, but this how fresh Ohio State is compared to the Crimson Tide.
Alabama, the SEC champs. Ohio State, the Big Ten champs. Alabama looking for national championship number 18. Ohio State is going for their 9th. And again, Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Guys, let me set the scene for you. Currently at Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. This remote brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Been giving out the swag. There's a bunch of people that are fired up about football and hanging out. Of course, the original peanut butter whiskey. Kyle, I'm going to make you jealous at some point. Chad, I'm going to do the same thing.
Those glasses look empty, Mick.
Right, that's right. And we're going to put something in there before it's all said and done. But I want to thank them and tell you guys, 6 to 8 tonight, you're watching us record the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Tomorrow it airs on Jocks 2, 1 to 3. That's Jocks 2, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa in Alabama, 100.5 radio. Podcast will be available tonight. So I'm pretty excited. Love hanging out here as well at Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. I've never spent a national championship in town. I'm normally at the game, and that's obviously not happening. So we figured, hey, let's do the show there. Kyle and Chad are in their home studios. But this should be what I'm expecting, a really unique environment for a national championship game. And Kyle, we're going to have coverage of this all day, starting with our watch party, which will be starting at 5 o'clock. We're going to start airing stuff that leads right up to you watching the game, and then you're going to talk about the game afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much coverage on Bama Insider, and I think it all, stems to it being the national championship game. So tomorrow, which is on Monday, definitely check us out on Bama Insider. We'll be with you. We'll take your calls after the game. We'll have Nick Saban's press conference. We'll have Ryan Day's press conference. We'll catch up with all the guys afterwards. Hopefully we get some footage from the strip from Mick. So tons to look forward to on Bama Insider on Monday evening.
All right, guys, this is a heavyweight battle. Ohio State versus Alabama. I mean, when you think college football, Chad, Kyle, you think about these two teams getting together. And like you said, Chad, it's only the second time they've played. It's only the fifth time they've played overall, and only the second time in this college football playoff.
Yeah, and when you look at the two teams, I look at the running back because Trey Sermon, and I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about him and just what he's done in the postseason so far with the Big Ten championship against Northwestern and just gashing that, what is a very good defense that did the same to Clemson. Ohio State put up over 600 yards in total offense against the Tigers. Look at the number of rushing attempts he's had this year, 115. Look at how many carries Najee Harris has had, 229, literally one shy of half in the number of carries. And so those are the things to me that I'm kind of looking at here. And some people would look back at the Clemson game. Would it have mattered how fresh they are versus Clemson, considering how badly they beat them? Maybe not, probably not. But still, you can't deny what it's going to look like when you're putting a team out there that'll be a lot less battle wounded than what Alabama has been.
Looks like Mick is muted, so he'll come right back.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. No, what I was saying is, Kyle, you've been covering Alabama for a long time. I mean, you're talking about two blue bloods going at it head to head.
Yeah, when you look at this game, and I've been diving a lot into this game, and I think you can take a lot away from the Sugar Bowl. Look, I think the way that Ohio State played was fantastic against Clemson. I mean, they did everything right on the offensive side of the football. Justin Fields played lights out, 6 touchdowns in that game, 1 interception. But I think as right here in the comment box, as our friends are saying, you got to stop Trey Sermon. I think he could be a real big problem if Alabama is not able to stop him. You look at the teams in the past that have given Alabama trouble. It's been teams that have been able to provide that tempo to be able to move the chains. And this is something that Ohio State's offense is built to do. They have a very good offensive line, 2 outstanding tackles, very similar to Alabama's offensive line. They have some very good wide receivers on the edge. Chris Olave versus Patrick Surtain, I think, is going to be an NFL type matchup. And Justin Fields, we'll see what he does in this type of a game. So this is the first game that Alabama is really going against an opponent that can go toe to toe for them. Besides that Florida game, I think that Ohio State has a lot of components, and they're playing right now. As Chad said earlier, they're healthy, right? I mean, this team is 7-0 on the season. That's it, 7-0, and Alabama 12-0. So you kind of look at the games that the teams have played, and you kind of look at the Alabama gauntlet that they've gone through. Surprisingly, Alabama relatively healthy coming into this game. Just provided an injury report back at BamaInsider.com. We had a chance to hear from Nick Saban. Talked about Jalen Waddle, said he's a game time decision. In my opinion, I don't think he'd be practicing if they didn't think he was going to play. So that's kind of the one player that we have when we talk X factors going into the national championship.
Well, the process continues, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, it's you always talk about kind of the next man up mentality, and Alabama's been able to do that year in and year out. I think when you look at this game, who would have thought that Mac Jones would be going into this type of game with 4,000 yards? Who would have thought that Najee Harris would have been the Doak Walker? Because we didn't even think he was going to come back, right? And then who would have thought that Devontae Smith would have 105 receptions and be the Heisman Trophy winner, aka the greatest nickname, the Slim Reaper that's been in college football. So you kind of pair all of that together. I think you kind of look to Alabama's defense. You look to Pete Golding. Can they stop this Ohio State offensive attack? They're playing at a very high level at the right time of year. There's going to be a ton of points in this game, in my opinion. What's the over-under in this game? Is it
76?
There you go. Okay, so, I mean, you look at a lot of production. I think they go over that. I'll have my score prediction tomorrow on BamaInsider.com, but I'm definitely taking the over.
The Bama Insider Tailgate Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw. Now's a great time to make your picks count at the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sportsbook. Jalen Waddle is back. How will that impact the game? The college football championship game coming up. We're going to break it down even more with Kyle and Chad right after this.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Genesis of Tuscaloosa, Alabama's first Genesis dealer, is a proud sponsor of Crimson Tide football and pleased to announce another first, the all-new 2021 GV80, the newest luxury SUV from Genesis, arriving soon. Be first to call and reserve your spot to experience the new standard of luxury in Tuscaloosa, the all-new 2021 Genesis GV80. See our full luxury lineup at Genesis of Tuscaloosa, the corner of Skyland and Hargrove, genesisoftuscaloosa.com.
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, football is fine art. Now at newlifeart.com, see Daniel A. Moore's new 2021 Crimson and White Fine Art Calendar, featuring 13 dynamic images of defining moments from the Saban era. As a special offer to listeners of this show, use coupon code ROLLTIDE for $5 off each calendar. To order yours, call 1-800-735-2787 or visit newlifeart.com today.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
In on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between. We'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
The Floribama Beach Bar is open at full capacity with no COVID restrictions. It's time to slip on back to Orange Beach for multiple stages of live music daily, free bingo Monday through Friday, and football watching all season long on tons of TV. There's never been a better time to enjoy sunsets from the beachfront bars with a famous bushwhacker. Floribama is one of the top beach bars in the world, and under Florida guidelines has no COVID restrictions. Planning on a bachelor or bachelorette party? Then come do it on the line. Find out more at floribama.com.
It's time to get back to the great outdoors, to making memories, to feeling like yourself again. The world may have slowed down, But here in Sevierville, Tennessee, we know that just means there's more time to enjoy it all. It's time to get back to the Smoky Mountains. And when getting there brings you back, you know you're in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here. Learn more about traveling safely at visitsevierville.com.
This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. It's brought to you by Yuengling Lager. Yuengling is a sixth-generation company, and our good friend Cheryl Yuengling, who went to school at Alabama as part of the company's ownership, a proud Alabama grad, came all the way down from Pennsylvania and graduated from the capstone. She says there's a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles. Also, with the new year here, everyone's trying to lose weight. You need to check out their light beer called Flight. It's low carb, low cal. It's got great flavor. And just take it from me, a guy that does a beer review. It's time to start thinking about drinking light and losing a little bit of weight. With Kyle Henderson, the managing editor of BamaInsider.com, the Rivals Alabama site, and Chad Anderson, I'm Mick Gillespie. Great to have you with us on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, whether you're listening on Jocks 2 or watching on YouTube. And if you are watching on YouTube, thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Guys, this is what it's all about. Alabama playing for the championship again. And the big news, I guess, really starts with the possible return of Jalen Waddle. Kyle, what are you hearing on that front, and should we expect him to play, and how much?
Yeah, I mean, I think, after listening to Nick Saban today, he had a press conference that was Sunday morning. He said that Jalen Waddle has practiced this week going into this game, which I think is number one, great news. He said it's going to be a game time decision, and they're going to base it based off what he can do in warmups. And I think, that's safe to say. I think one thing about Nick Saban, and he's pretty straightforward about stuff like that. So I think he's going to play in this game. How effective is he going to be? I think that's going to be to be determined. But even if you have him out as a decoy, you're going to start to create some kind of havoc within the defensive side. And I think when you kind of look at the particulars of this matchup, I've talked about this before. I think Alabama's wide receivers going against Ohio State's defensive backs will be the difference in this game. I think that they're going to have a big problem with Devontae Smith, like every single team has. But in this particular game, I don't think that Ohio State fares well in that matchup. Now, look, Ohio State has some fantastic offensive components, but I can't say the same thing about Ohio State's secondary. So if Jalen Waddle can go, and he is good to go, and you got John Mechie, you got Devontae Smith, look for a guy like Jaleel Billingsley, who's been a tight end. I think Steve Sarkisian's been really creative to get him the football. Those guys are going to be the difference maker. Don't forget about Najee Harris, who has 36 receptions coming out of the backfield this year.
Chad, the impact of Jalen Waddle, is it only positive, or could there be some negatives to having him back?
I don't see how you have any negatives. Ohio State, like Kyle was just saying, normally they're known as being DBU. I mean, they send secondary guys into the NFL and they perform extremely well. And this year they're kind of weak in that position, which is unique for that university. Look at Jalen Waddle, and in the games that he did play this year, he had 25 catches, 557 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But what really stands out to me is his average yards per reception, 22.3. And that is 7 yards more than Devontae Smith. So it's explosive plays that Jalen Waddle brings to the table. And even if he's not explosive, you're going to have to pay attention to him in this game, which is only going to open things up more for Devontae, for Mechie, for Forrestall, for Billingsley. Again, Najee out of the backfield, like Kyle mentioned. There's just so many extra weapons, and it's been next man up for the back half of the season. But you can't deny a guy who comes in and is getting over 20 yards every time he's catching the football. That's huge.
This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Bama Insider, of course, the Alabama Rivals site. Check us out online at BamaInsider.com. Whether you're watching on the Bama Insider YouTube channel or you're listening on Jocks Radio, we appreciate you guys being with us. Steve Sarkisian's job, he's Alabama's offensive coordinator. This is his last day and his last hurrah with the Crimson Tide. He's Texas's head coach now, but he stayed to coach this game. How focused is he on this game plan with all the other responsibilities he has right now for Texas, Kyle?
Well, I mean, I think we're about to see, right? Come kickoff, you're going to start to see the schematics of the game. Now, a couple things that go into this game, and you'll hear it more from Chris Lowe. You have a great interview with him coming up right here on Bama Insider. He talked about this. He talked about Steve Sarkisian and the fact that Steve Sarkisian didn't have to worry about the recruiting class because Alabama already signed all their guys, right? So he didn't have to worry about kind of making the move. I mean, remember, February used to be kind of the old signing day, so he didn't have to do that. I think he's dealing with staffing, and that could be the one distraction along with all these awards that Alabama won. But I think they'll be able to be dialed in. And look, Steve Sarkisian said this during his press conference a couple days ago. He said that, going into this game, the goal is to finish out perfect. I think Steve Sarkisian is professional enough to go into this game and want to finish out perfect. Why wouldn't you, right? These guys mean a lot to him. They worked for this. Now go out and just do it one more time. Now, I have heard that there are a couple coaches that are potentially thinking of joining him at Texas. You can read more about that on Bama Insider. Will that be a distraction for the title game? I don't think so. Will it be a distraction after? Probably, but Nick Saban always finds a way to reload. So if you're interested in the Alabama offensive coaching coordinator hot board, go to BamaInsider.com. We got a ton of names that you can go through, and it looks like there's a couple NFL names that are starting to emerge.
Yeah, Chad, we've been through this before. It doesn't always go well. Sometimes it does. I mean, Kirby and McElwain and Pruitt, they all left for other schools with a dub. And then, of course, Kiffin, terrible example of what can go wrong when your coach takes another job. And then Loxley, so your thoughts on this? It could go either way.
Sure. And like Kyle said, you're not going to know until kickoff, and you're not really going to know until 2 or 3 possessions into it to see, is everybody clicking? What are the schemes? How are you looking at things? How are you matching up? Where is Sark putting players to get them in the best position on the field? But the one, I guess, outside variable that I fall back on, but remember, you see the shirt I'm wearing in the script day here, but this is the one positive I'm trying to hold on to. It does worry me. Obviously you're distracted by boosters who paid you a lot of money to come to a place that hasn't won in a long time, other than the Mac Brown run. Other than that, Texas really not a powerhouse. So that worries me. But remember, Sark got a bad rap because he had to fill in for Lane Kiffin in the game against Clemson down in Tampa. The offense did okay in the first half, but then they really struggled. I think they were something like 2 for 15 on third down at one point late in that game, and Bama ended up losing. Sark ends up going to the NFL, so Bama fans are furious. It's like, great, we lost Kiffin. You filled in for one game. In our opinion, we're mad at you and pissed off. Now you go to the NFL. Now he comes back. So I really try to hang on to Sark trying to make a statement here and get the national title, because yes, Bama fans are in love with him today, but the last time he was in this position, it didn't go well. And so I try to believe that he's trying to make that good.
And kind of sorry to interrupt, Mick, but to kind of build off that, because I think that's a great point. I mean, the last time that an offensive coordinator left from Alabama during this time, it was Mike Loxley, and someone put in the comment box, we were at that game in Santa Clara, and Loxley was coaching the game, and Alabama lost 44-16. So I don't think it's going to be like that again. But I mean, you kind of look at the fact that these guys have to be dialed in, they have to be laser focused, because Ohio State, they can cause problems, clearly.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's going to be interesting. I'm worried about it, but, there's nothing you can do. I mean, I just wish they would change the rule so that schools can't hire your coaches until after the season's over. When you're paying a guy $3 million, you expect him to be focused on you and not going somewhere else. But that's not the case. And Alabama has it happen a lot because they're successful. And also it happens a lot during the season because they play long seasons. Everyone else is done. Guys, the Heisman Trophy, though, Steve Sarkisian, very proud of the fact that 3 of the 5 finalists are weapons that he uses. And, of course, the winner, Devontae Smith, is an Alabama player that plays under Sark. Your thoughts, start with you, Kyle, quickly on the Heisman and all the awards that Alabama has picked up.
Well, I mean, the Heisman certainly stands out to me. I mean, it was the first time since 1991 that a receiver won the Heisman Trophy Award. I mean, we've talked about that enough. the Davey O'Brien Award going to Mac Jones. I was really pleased to see that. But I'll tell you, the one award that really stands out to me is a Doak Walker Award, because Najee Harris has provided so much to this offense since he's been at Alabama. You talk a guy that came in as a 5-star, was patient. He walks away leading Alabama in touchdowns. He's just had a fantastic season. So Doak Walker to Najee, really pleased to see him get that award.
What about you, Chad?
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable, to see all the awards the other night. I actually didn't get to tune into the show, but I get ESPN updates on my phone, and you're just getting one after the other, and it doesn't stop. And I think what's interesting is you go back to some previous teams with Tua, and people say this is the greatest offense that we've ever seen at the University of Alabama. Now take this team and put it in perspective and the numbers they're putting up in just a 10-game season, okay? And let's not forget that it was an all-conference season. Now, yes, SEC has weak teams just like anyone, but you weren't playing Southern Miss or La Tech or Utah State or La Monroe this year. There were no cupcakes. There was no Chattanooga this year. And they still did it, and then they did it against Florida, and then they did it to a certain degree against Notre Dame. I think they kind of let off the gas some in that game. But just this team as a whole, everybody was completely deserving. You could even say Will Reichard got screwed a little bit. He didn't miss a kick. I get it. Maybe he didn't have a clutch kick all year, but he didn't miss one. They were all great. So, yeah, this season has just been remarkable from the offensive side.
Yeah, we could have won more. Kyle, you're about to dip out. You're about to be dismissed from the show tonight. Great to have you on here. What can you tell people to check out that you've been involved in? And, of course, everyone's going to join us on the YouTube channel, 5 o'clock for the biggest watch party in the history of Bama Insider YouTube TV.
Look, go to Bama Insider out there. Pull out your phones. Go to Bama Insider on YouTube. Check out all our coverage. I think, the product speaks for itself. I mean, almost 50,000 subscribers right here on YouTube. Fans clearly happy with the product that we're giving out. And go to BamaInsider.com to get a taste of what Andrew Bone is posting recruiting-wise. I mean, this guy's been having a fantastic year. So if you want an opportunity to join YouTube, it's clearly free. Just hit the subscribe button. Then at BamaInsider.com, we got a free promo code, which is simply Roll Tide at checkout. Tons of coverage, tons of early enrollees coming in after Alabama. So you guys stay with us, and we appreciate your support more than you know, because we sincerely appreciate you.
All right. Thanks. And Kyle, awesome hanging out with you. Looking forward to more of it coming up. Hey, guys, this is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show presented by Tuscaloosa Hyundai, the Elantra, the Sonata, or an SUV like the Tucson. Tailgating doesn't get any better. We're hanging out at Innisfree in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Ohio State talk. Whether you're listening on Jocks Radio or you're watching on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, we're having a great time. And again, our show remote today is brought to you by our friends at Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. We got swag that we've been giving out to a lot of the, the peeps that are here hanging out with us as well. Hey guys, Alabama just had an awesome recruiting class, right? And one of the guys that had a lot to do with that, well, at least covering it, is our friend Andrew Bone. We've got Andrew Bone coming up shortly, but when we return, Chad and I are going to get into the storied championship history of Alabama football. We've been to a lot of these championship games. Alabama's played in a lot of championship games. How will this one stack up? Don't go anywhere. More Bama Insider Tailgate Show coming up.
Introducing Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Now available wherever beer is sold. PG Yuengling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Genesis of Tuscaloosa, Alabama's first Genesis dealer, is a proud sponsor of Crimson Tide football and pleased to announce another first, the all-new 2021 GV80, the newest luxury SUV from Genesis, arriving soon. Be first to call and reserve your spot to experience the new standard of luxury in Tuscaloosa, the all-new 2021 Genesis GV80. See our our full luxury lineup at Genesis of Tuscaloosa, the corner of Skyland and Hargrove. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the Bama Insider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Hey fam, this is Kyle Henderson with BamaInsider.com, reminding you to join Mick Gillespie and me right after the game on the Bama Insider YouTube channel for the Bama Insider postgame show. We'll break down the game with instant analysis, have Nick Saban's press conference, and take your calls and comments. That's the Bama Insider postgame show right after Alabama plays on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. See you there. Please join us tonight for the Bama Insider postgame show on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Roll Tide, roll.
Winter at Old Forge Distillery is the best time of year. Whiskey Wonderland has returned to the cocktail bar, and it's easy to get into the holiday spirit inside a beautiful Smoky Mountain winter scene. Finish your holiday shopping and enjoy festive cocktails like S'more Shine, Rosemary Maple Bourbon Sour, and the Cream Brulee. Looking for a gift for those hard-to-shop-for people? Old Forge Spirits and Swag make the perfect stocking stuffers. Stock up on the seasonal favorites like Peppermint Bark Cream and Chocolate Coconut Cream. Only available for a limited time. Old Forge Distillery, located at 170 Old Mill Ave in the heart of Old Mill Square in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Welcome back on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. If you're watching right now on our YouTube channel, thumbs up, subscribe. And if you're listening on Jocks 2 Radio, 100.5 Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, welcome and Roll Tide, Alabama and Ohio State. And it's great to have our Alabama rivals, recruiting expert, the best in the business, Mr. Andrew Bone, join the show. Bone, I know you've got a ton of stuff to tell us here in this segment, including an interview with recruit, not Heisman winner, but recruit Devontae Smith. First off, though, Alabama and Ohio State, they're always in the top in recruiting. Tell us about some of the great battles between these two schools.
Yeah, obviously Alabama and Ohio State, two of the top recruiting programs in the country, not just, two best teams in the country, but, they recruit, elite level players every single year. And, we don't see a ton of recruiting battle. Like, it's either Alabama or Ohio State. We don't see a lot of that, but we always see some. There's always a few guys that are choosing between the two schools throughout their recruiting process. There's some guys on both teams who certainly chose, one school over the other. You look at Alabama with Jordan Battle, starting safety, who ended up flipping his commitment from Ohio State to Alabama. Jamison Williams is a wide receiver for the Buckeyes. He ended up, committing to Ohio State over Alabama. Alabama was very high on his list. Nicholas Petit-Free, one of the starting offensive tackles for for Ohio State also had Alabama as one of his top schools. But, there's always going to be some interesting recruiting battles between both programs. And, there were certainly some in this recruiting class, in this 2021 class. J.C. Latham, 5-star offensive tackle, was considered an Ohio State lean kind of throughout his whole recruitment. But when it came down to making that decision, he ends up committing to Alabama. You also had, Devontae Smith, flipping his commitment from Ohio State to Alabama. So obviously that was a big deal. And I know he's real fired up about the game on Monday evening as well.
And this is a good time to introduce Andrew Bone and Devontae Smith to talk about that recruiting between Ohio State and Alabama. And you're listening to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show on Jocks Radio in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, or watching on our Bama Insider Rivals.
What's up, Alabama fans? We got a special guest in the house this evening. We got Devontae Smith. Devontae, man, big game coming up this Monday, man. Talk about it.
Yes, sir. Definitely is a big game, with me obviously being committed there first and then, flipping to Alabama. So definitely a big game. And, I got a best friend that's committed there in the same class as me. So it's definitely going to be definitely a tough game.
There have been a lot of smack talking between you guys so far.
Yes, sir. I'm actually with him right now. He's out getting his haircut right now, but I'm with him for the week. I'm with him for the weekend.
Now, who is that?
Jaylen Johnson, safety, committed to Ohio State.
Okay. Well, what's he thinking about the game?
Obviously he feels like they're going to win. I feel like, we're going to win, obviously. So, the better team, the better. I think the better team is. So that's just how I think the outcome going to be.
Well, let's talk about the game a little bit. How do you see it unfolding?
You say it one more time?
How do you see this game unfolding?
I definitely see us winning by at least 3 scores. I feel like their defense isn't, they have a good front line. Other than that, in the back end, I don't think they're very strong, which, we're strong on receiver core wise and a quarterback. We've been hot all season. I feel like we're going to stay hot. So I feel like that's how it's going to play out.
Well, let's look back at that commitment real quick. What kind of separated Alabama from Ohio State? As many people know, you flipped your commitment from the Buckeyes to the Tide this summer. But what kind of separated Alabama for you?
Definitely just just a family atmosphere. I just feel way more comfortable just with the coaches, with the other commits, just talking to them, how we just connected. So definitely that. And then, obviously my mom, she's a big important part of everything I do. So, she definitely fell in love with the coaching staff, definitely fell in love with, the campus. When she had visited by herself virtually, she fell in love with it. She got to talk to a lot of, the staff, not on just the football team, but academic wise, and just loves it down there. And also talked to my cousin, and he also gave her a great word, which was a good thing for us.
Now, have you had a chance to talk to any of the Alabama coaches this week?
Yes, sir. I talked to Coach Scott actually yesterday. He was just telling me that it's going to be a tough game for us, in the back end wise. Ohio State has some great receivers, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, and many more. So it's going to be definitely a tough task to, guard those guys this week. But definitely they can do it. They're up to the challenge, and I can't wait to see what they do.
I got to get a score prediction from you.
I honestly think 48-24.
Okay.
48-24 is a good score for me. I feel like it. Now Jalen, he feel like it's going to be a shootout, but I feel like our defense is going to show up and show out this week. So
now are you still getting to Alabama here next week?
I can't enroll this. I can't really enroll, so that is a bummer for me. But I'm just keeping my head down, continue to work and do everything I got to do to so when I do get there, I'm well prepared.
Okay. Now you had originally planned on it, right?
Yes, sir. But my school, they had some different things going on that didn't allow me to go.
Gotcha.
With with them being a Catholic school and just the guidelines and stuff like that.
Understand. Now, are you going to be doing any other sports?
No, sir. I'm just going to be strictly focusing on, just getting ready, getting bigger, stronger, faster, and just getting my mind prepared to, step on the field some grown men.
Gotcha, man. Well, let's talk about Smitty winning the Heisman. You Smitty 2.0. So let's talk about Smitty winning the Heisman. What did you think about that?
That was obviously a great, I feel like a great experience for him. A great, award that he won. A prestigious award. Matter of fact, everybody was proud of him from my city. Everybody on the internet, obviously, they were tagging me. When it wasn't really me, it was him that actually won the award. But I'm just happy for my guy, and I just can't wait to see what he do here come Monday.
Let's talk about what you're going to be doing kind of between now and when you get to Alabama. What are you going to be working on? What are you going to be trying to improve?
Definitely just getting bigger. Right now, I want to go in about 190 pounds, 185 in between. I'm 185 now, but I want to either stay here or just gain. I know I'm going to gain some more weight just because of, what I'm doing and everything that I have about like workout plans and stuff like that. Obviously get faster because I know the game speed, it changes, gets faster each level you go up. So I just definitely want to keep bettering my speed, and just mentally staying in the playbook. I know that's definitely going to separate me from the others that are there. Just staying in the playbook and, and just getting to know what I need to know. And, I feel like everything else is just take care of yourself. God is going to be with me, every step of the way. And, that's all I can count on.
Good deal. Well, Smitty 2.0, we appreciate you coming on the show today, man. Best of luck to you. And Alabama fans look forward to seeing you in Tuscaloosa here in a few months, okay?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
Yep, roll tide.
How about that conversation right there as you listen to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show? Alabama's rival site, that was Andrew Bone with Smitty 2.0, right? Devontae Smith, the recruit who chose between Alabama and Ohio State, and he made a score prediction as well. So it was great to hear from Andrew Bone. He's the Bama Insider recruiting guru. They don't get any better than that. Let me tell you guys that we're hanging out at Innisfree and Tuscaloosa, getting ready for Alabama and Ohio State. Great crowd here. Our remote's brought to you by Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. If you celebrate tonight, I'm telling you, celebrate with Screwball. You're not going to be let down. It's a better version, a tastier version, a smoother version of Fireball. I mean, I'm telling you. So just try it. Guys, R&R Cigars invites you to the Downtown Cigar Mansion. That's right. They've got the best cigar collection and bourbon in the Southeast. R&R is also home for all your sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for just $10 when you tell them Mick sent you. That's 2703 6th Street downtown next to Home the Suites, thecigarmansion.com. And they also have a brand new location that is in Northport, right there by Winn-Dixie in the shopping center. So a couple of different places to get your R&R cigar. And they've got the bar open there as well. When I come back, I promise you guys this time, Chad Anderson and I are going to go over Alabama football history in the national championship game. That and more. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show will be right back.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Genesis of Tuscaloosa, Alabama's first Genesis dealer, is a proud sponsor of Crimson Tide football and pleased to announce another first, the all-new 2021 GV80, the newest luxury SUV from Genesis, arriving soon. Be first to call and reserve your spot to experience the new standard of luxury in Tuscaloosa, the all-new 2021 Genesis GV80. See our full luxury lineup at Genesis of Tuscaloosa, the corner of Skyland and Hargrove, genesisoftuscaloosa.com.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide. Switching your job is stressful. Switching your schools is painful, but switching your insurance to Allstate, it really couldn't be easier. At Allstate, you call one local agent who can assist you with all your policies and make your paperwork simple. Here in Tuscaloosa and Northport, Allstate agent Andrew Conifer can help you protect everything from your home, car, boat, motorcycle, or even RV, ATV, and snowmobile. Stop by Andrew Conifer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard. Are you in good hands? Prices vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement, Screwball.
Winter at Old Forge Distillery is the best time of year. Whiskey Wonderland has returned to the cocktail bar, and it's easy to get into the holiday spirit inside a beautiful Smoky Mountain winter scene. Finish your holiday shopping and enjoy festive cocktails like S'more Shine, Rosemary Maple Bourbon Sour, and the Cream Brulee. Looking for a gift for those hard-to-shop-for people? Old Forge Spirits and Swag make the perfect stocking stuffers. Stock up on the seasonal favorites like Peppermint Bark Cream and Chocolate Coconut Cream. Only available for a limited time. Old Forge Distillery, located at 170 Old Mill Ave in the heart of Old Mill Square in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. It's brought to you by Bama Buggies. Bama Buggies is a touchdown for anyone looking for an ATV, a Sea-Doo motorcycle, or side-by-side. Hunting season is almost here, and Bama Buggies has you covered. Find out for yourself at BamaBuggies.com. Go by there and see our good buddy Barry Buckner and the gang at Bama Buggies. Guys, as you're listening right now and you're watching on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, like, subscribe. We really appreciate you being here for this is like the visual version of the recording of the radio program. And for those of you listening on Jocks 2 100.5, really glad to have all you guys with us. And check out the website, BamaInsider.com. Daniel A. Moore, the calendars are available, and I'm telling you, you got Nick Saban on there. These guys, a fantastic job. But forget about just the calendars and start thinking about this. There's a brand new Nick Saban print that's available, and then you got to do one of Devontae Smith, the Heisman. So he's going to have a Daniel Moore, and if they win the national championship, we'll have another one. So I'm so excited. Go to newlifeart.com and check out all the different stuff going on there. And I'm telling you, for the Alabama fan, you won't be disappointed. And lastly, as we hang out here with you, I bring Chad Anderson back in. We are at Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. This remote is brought to you by our friends at Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Look at these shot glasses. They're empty, Chad, but eventually they're not going to be empty. Put something in them and down them. Chad, You had a little.
I like one of the comments, Mick. Sorry to interrupt you. I love one of the comments. That's what I was laughing about. Somebody says we're going to give Ohio State a screwball tomorrow night. So just to help enhance your plug for screwball. Right. Yeah.
Well, I like that. Might be their new slogan. All right, Chad. Let's talk about this game. Alabama and Ohio State. You got the Crimson Tide, 17 national championships, 7-3 in the college football playoff. They lost to Ohio State the only time that they played. I think I was sitting next to you at that game, by the way.
We were, yeah.
Yeah, very memorable to me because our other friend didn't talk the entire ride home. He was that angry because I predicted Alabama would lose that game. I didn't think they were going to beat them with Blake Sims. I don't know if that's why our friend didn't talk, the other guy that was there with us, but let's just kind of go over some championship memories. That obviously not one. Alabama, though, in the national championship game, right off the bat, your best championship memory.
Probably for me, a lot of people would go to 2009 because the Rose Bowl and the setting and the first time in 17 years and whatnot. I think my favorite game, though, was actually 2011, which was January of 12 against LSU in the Superdome, mainly because I was so mad that Bama lost the game of the century earlier in the year. I felt like Alabama was the better team all year long. And then it just took going back to play the Tigers. But I thought getting to do it on the road like that, well, quasi road in the Superdome, to me, that was the best. When a team doesn't cross the 50-yard line, that is the pure sign of dominance. You can't get more dominant than you don't let them across midfield. In fact, if you remember, Bama played LSU in basketball a couple of nights later, and the student section mockingly cheered when they crossed half court to begin the game. So to me, that there were other great games and settings, but that one really always sticks out to me.
Yeah, I mean, I reflect kind of the same way you do. 2009, I remember how excited we were to get tickets.
Yep.
Just as alumnus, and going to all those games for all those years and losing. I was too young to go to the 92 game. I really wasn't even an Alabama fan at the time, right? I mean, then I went to college, and all of a sudden it was like, you're going to these games, and it's such a big part of your life. But going to Pasadena and driving in there and seeing that Rose Bowl sign lit up, man, that was great. And when we got those tickets from that same friend that didn't talk, the ride home from New Orleans. Yeah. I mean, there were great seats. There were enough tickets where we had a lot of our friends were there. It was just a special time. And I remember having snuck a little bourbon in there. I guess the statute of limitations.
Doesn't sound like you, Mick.
I had some in my cup, and when that fumble right at the end of the first half, right? Remember that? Who was that had the ball?
Marcel Darius.
Yeah, or Darius, however he wants to say. It was just
either way.
Electric. It was electric, and some of that bourbon spilled on our friend's white shirt. But he was so happy that we scored a touchdown. He didn't even care. That's one of them. You talk about the LSU championship game. I sat with our friend Cheryl Yingling at that one in the upper deck in the dome, and I just remember like we were like eye level with the press box, watching Tim Brando high-fiving all the LSU fans before the game. It didn't turn out too well for them. I got to say,
they probably weren't around at the end of that game.
No, they got out of there. It was really quiet leaving the dome. I mean, they're all special, though. Like I'm thinking, like when I went to Notre Dame, the Notre Dame Alabama game, and I sat with Cheryl again, and like we had the opportunity to just to go to dinner with her dad, who's like the owner of the basically the president of Yingling, the owner, and we order drinks, and they realize who it is, and you don't even have to tell them what you want. Here comes the green bottles. I remember that and having a great time down there. But they've all been so much fun. The one that we were in, the Alabama one against Clemson, I sat with Mike Johnson, the two-time All-American, and Baron Hubert, two guys that were on the 2009 team. And every time Bama would score, you're getting hit by them, and their hands are huge, and you're like, kind of want to score, but you don't want to get killed. That was a great time too, man. And the loss. What's that?
I was just saying, it's hard to ignore 2nd and 26 though. Like the one thing about all the championship games is that Bama won. Anytime Bama won, they won handily. Now the Clemson game out in the desert. The Kenyon Drake kickoff return, OJ Howard emerging, the onside kick that you would never expect from Nick Saban. That was one of the most exciting games. That was probably the most exciting game start to finish, like just back and forth, back and forth. The Georgia game was a snoozer first half because Alabama had nothing. It was the second half where Alabama came back. But as far as that was, it's hard. That's probably a close second for me, only because you can't ignore a walk-off. A walk-off is epic. That's what you live for as a sports fan. And Alabama had a chance to walk it off, and Papanastos missed the kick, shanked the kick, duck hooked the kick, dead left. And you're thinking, oh my God, how do you get back up to go to overtime to win? And then for the 2nd and 26 to happen immediately after a sack. That's just all time. So LSU was more, I guess, for them and the fans and the trash talking they did and knowing we're better. But the 2nd and 26, man, how can you? That was probably the best game right there with Clemson.
Yeah, that might be the best championship game that's ever been played. I mean, when you just talk about the way that the game ended, I mean, everything, it just seemed like, I mean, and it's crazy to think that Alabama's back again. All right, I'm going to read these to you, Chad. 25, 26, 30, 34, 41, 61, 64, 65, 73, 78, 79, 92, 09, 11, 12, 15, 17. Do you know what they all have in common?
National championship years.
Man, it's crazy, right? And Alabama has a chance to add 20 on there as well. Great to have all you guys on the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. He's Chad Anderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. We're going to talk with Chris Lowe from ESPN coming up. We're going to listen to what Chris has to say. He's going to start the second hour of the show. I mean, it's like he's got the pulse of Nick Saban better than any of the other writers for ESPN. And then Alabama and Ohio State, Chad. I think that this is a great matchup because, they haven't played for a title. And just the way that everything sets up recruiting-wise, these are always 1 and 2, 1 and 3, in recruiting classes. Ohio State's going to have some really good players. And if Alabama wins, a Daniel Moore with Ohio State on it would be great.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. The only one that Daniel Moore has done with Ohio State is Jay Barker to Sherman Williams in the 1995 Citrus Bowl. And we can talk about this more later in the show when we do our picks as well. But I was sitting back thinking about it. Why does everybody hate Ohio State so much? Like, if you think about it, why is there so much hatred between Alabama and Ohio State? Or it feels that way because the teams never play, even as often as they're in the playoffs. Only played once. Before that, it was 94. Before that, I believe it was in the 80s in the Meadowlands of all places. It's just interesting, the hatred that Bama fans have for Ohio State when they really don't see the field too often.
Well, they're going to match up this year, and, bad memory, Alabama losing to Ohio State. Good memory, obviously, Jay Barker's last pass. You were talking about that, Daniel Moore. That was the last pass Jay told me that he ever threw, was that touchdown to beat Ohio State in the Citrus Bowl in 1994.
Yep, that's right. I believe that one, the comeback, is that?
Yeah, and right, because Alabama fell way behind and then came back. The crazy thing is, like, we were in school, and there weren't a lot of Daniel Moore prints.
No, now they can just it's like this at the print shop, man. It just, they could pick out 6 every year that they want to do. They could pick out 1 per game. You got Najee hurdling the Notre Dame defender. That's a Daniel Moore, right?
Yeah, well, they already did that one, though. It was against South Carolina. Najee
do a collage of hurdles because he does them all the time.
It's next level stuff. Well, Chad,
it is.
When we come back, we're going to talk with the guy, an expert on Alabama football in a weird way from ESPN, our buddy Chris Lowe. Let me tell you guys this. The Floor Bama, which is where I got my Floor Bama shirt on right now because it's cold here at Industry. They are open for business down on the Gulf, right there on the line between Alabama and Florida. One of the great beach bars in this country, one of the best bars ever. Perdido Key, Orange Beach. They got oysters available. They're fresh. They're open 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. every day. Free bingo Monday through Friday, 1 to 4. Come get your bushwhackers. There's tons of TV for football watching. FloorBama.com on Facebook as well. And they just want to tell you to come on back and hang out as you plan your next vacation. All right, guys. When we come back, we're going to talk more Alabama and Ohio State. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We'll be right back.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Special purchase 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989. First come, first served while they last. Tuscaloosa Hyundai has made a special purchase of new Tucsons starting at $19,989. All with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty, no charge. Over 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989.
It's why you drive home happy.
Exclusively at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove.
Switching your job is stressful. Switching your schools is painful. But switching your insurance to Allstate, it really couldn't be easier. At Allstate, you call one local agent who can assist you with all your policies and make your paperwork simple. Here in Tuscaloosa and Northport, Allstate agent Andrew Kniffer can help you protect everything from your home, car, boat, motorcycle, or even RV, ATV, and snowmobile. Stop by Andrew Kniffer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard. Are you in good hands? Prices vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the Bama Insider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
Experience the true spirit of Tuscaloosa at Hotel Indigo, downtown's first waterfront hotel overlooking the Black Warrior River. Hotel Indigo is perfectly located near a myriad of unique shops, restaurants, and the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. You rolling with the tide? Hotel Indigo is less than a mile from the University of Alabama. The Lookout Bar on the roof of of Hotel Indigo is the best place in Tuscaloosa to enjoy great views, appetizers, and spirits with friends. Book Hotel Indigo now and enjoy the best of Tuscaloosa. Winter at Old Forge Distillery is the best time of year. Whiskey Wonderland has returned to the cocktail bar, and it's easy to get into the holiday spirit inside a beautiful Smoky Mountain winter scene. Finish your holiday shopping and enjoy festive cocktails like S'more Shine, Rosemary Maple Bourbon Sour, and the Cream Brulee. Looking for a gift for those hard-to-shop-for people? Old Forge Spirits and Swag make the perfect stocking stuffers. Stock up on the seasonal favorites like Peppermint Bark Cream and Chocolate Coconut Cream. Only available for a limited time. Old Forge Distillery, located at 170 Old Mill Ave in the heart of Old Mill Square in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Welcome back to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We're brought to you by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery, and presented by Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. Alabama takes on Ohio State at Hard Rock Stadium in the national championship game, broadcast on ESPN at 7 o'clock Central with Bama Insider managing editor Kyle Henderson and Chad Anderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. Great to have you with us today. Let me tell you guys about our friends in Sevierville. They have 4 different self-guided fall tours that you can drive through the backwoods of some really gorgeous historical points of interest and beautiful places. Check out the maps. There's videos and more information at visitsevierville.com. This is also with everything going on socially distanced naturally, right? So you can go out, drive your vehicle, and you're staying away from others. Also, Sevierville offers opportunities to get outside and enjoy the great outdoors, from hiking in the national park to enjoying walking trails, zipline adventures, and horseback riding. They also have great lodging options, hotels, cabins, and campgrounds. And I'll tell you what, right now, it's a really beautiful time to be there. And then as we get towards summer, it just gets better and better. And that's Sevierville in the Smoky Mountains. Great to have a guy that's not too far from Sevierville, and that's ESPN's Chris Lowe. Chris, from Knoxville, or at least you live in Knoxville, you know all about the Smokies, and you know all about college football, Alabama and Ohio State. The Crimson Tide coming off really just an amazing season. So far, it's gone just about perfect, including the Heisman Trophy being awarded for the 3rd time to the university. This year, a receiver, first time in years, like 30 years, Devontae Smith won that award. You're a voter on that. First off, great to see you. Happy New Year. And your thoughts on Devontae winning the award, the Slim Reaper.
Yeah, I love that nickname, by the way. That's a great one. I'm not surprised at all. He's the one I voted for. It really wasn't a hard decision, Mick. I mean, he was the guy. I mean, I think my votes were Devontae 1, Mac Jones 2, and Trevor Lawrence 3. So I always wait till after the conference championships to vote. And but it really, I mean, he was the best player. I told you guys earlier, I think he's the best player in college football. He's a smart player. I was talking to a coach in the SEC just recently. They said, you know, as dynamic as he is, and he's got great hands, he's always open, he runs great routes, but he just sets up his defenders. He's smart. He understands. He anticipates. He's got everything. You know, he's not big. Obviously, he's not a real big kid, but he plays. I mean, he plays bigger than he is, and just fast and separates. And he's everything you want in a receiver. And it's hard to believe. It just seems like yesterday he was catching that touchdown against Georgia in the national championship game, and now here he is playing his last game for the Crimson Tide again in the national championship game.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, he had another huge game that really didn't even factor into the Heisman voting against Notre Dame. Your thoughts on Alabama against Notre Dame? Obviously, 3 touchdowns for Smitty. Felt like they backed off a little bit on Notre Dame, but you know, it was still 31-14, and they really weren't pushed that hard.
No, and I think Notre Dame felt like if they were going to have any chance, they were going to have to take away possessions and keep the football. And you know, and I never really felt like Notre Dame had a chance to win that game. And I think Alabama said, you know what? You know, if you're just going to let us run the football and bloody your nose and take some shots down the field, that's what we'll do. And that's the thing about this Bama team, because yeah, you can get them in a track meet, and they're pretty comfortable in doing that. It's a 40-something game, but they're also just as equipped to line up and with Najee Harris and an NFL offensive line and just come off the football, you know, and run the ball, and they could do either. And that's why I think when you look at his offense, you got Sark calling the plays. This is probably, I don't remember in my time, a better, more well-rounded, more explosive Alabama offense. And this, Landon Dickerson's hurt, their center, so he won't play in this game. And I think if you throw him in the mix, every one of those offensive linemen will play in the NFL. Now, I'm not saying they'll all be 6, 7, 8, 9-year guys, but I bet you they'll all play to some degree. And I was talking to Kirby Smart the other day about Bama's offense. He said, Devontae's a great player. Max had an unbelievable year, never turns the football over. Najee Harris is what he is. You have all the receivers. And if Waddle plays, I'm not sure he will play, but I think they're going to try. He's going to try to play. They're just, you got all these skill guys. But he said that the part of their offense or the part of their team that he said is the best and probably not talked about the most is that offensive line, because that's the reason Mac Jones. I mean, how many times have you seen Mac not have a clean pocket to throw the football? Or when they needed to run the football off their own goal line in short yard situations in the red zone, that they couldn't run it. I mean, they're really, really, really good up front. The best offensive line in football. And when you're that good and you have the weapons they do around them, then you score. What do they average? 48 points a game. That's what happens. And that's why I think it is. And Ohio State's good in their defensive front. They're good in their defensive front seven. But I still like Alabama's offensive line in any matchup in college football. They're just that good.
He's Chris Lowe from ESPN. I'm Mick Gillespie. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, getting you ready for Alabama and Ohio State. Great to have you with us on YouTube as you watch. Subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up. We have had an excellent month, and it's because of you guys making this a regular stop as you get ready for college football. And for those of you listening on Jocks 2 Radio in Birmingham, great to have you with us. Alabama and Ohio State at 7 o'clock for all the marbles. All right, let's talk about this move, Chris, because it concerns me a lot for Alabama. There's a lot of confidence for the Crimson Tide going in against Ohio State. They're favored by 7, 8 points, depending on what poll you look at. Steve Sarkisian, right after the Notre Dame game, the very next day, accepted the job of head coach at Texas. Great for him. I mean, he definitely deserves it. He worked hard, 2 stints at Alabama. He's been a head coach before. I mean, look, definitely eligible. I have a problem with the system. I'm going to tell you that just to get your take on it. In other sports, you wait until the season's over before you start hiring coaches away from other teams. We've seen this in the past with Alabama. It's been one of Nick Saban's biggest issues is these guys taking other jobs. Some of them, it works out. Give Kirby Smart, Jeremy Pruitt a lot of credit. They took jobs at other schools in the conference, but still stuck around, and their defenses played great. Lane Kiffin took a job outside of the conference. It didn't work out for Alabama. He didn't even make it to the championship game, and Alabama ended up losing to Clemson. Same thing with Mike Loxley, went to Maryland. You wonder how much recruiting's going on, how many coaches are these guys hiring. Sark's tweeting at Matthew McConaughey. To me, that is a distraction. That's not getting ready for a championship game. Why can't they wait until afterwards? And what's your thought process on this?
When you say they, you're talking about the other teams that are looking for coaches, I guess,
or college
right?
Football. Why couldn't they make a rule like the NFL? Like where you get, it's after the Super Bowl. It's just so unfair for a program to me that's paying this guy $3 million to coach 13 games, and you get to the 12th game, and now he's got another job.
Yeah, well, it's not ideal. But I think it's going to be hard to tell a coach that is being wooed that, you know what, you can't go until a certain date. I mean, I guess if you did it the same for everybody, but I don't know who's going to implement that rule. It's not going to be the NCAA. I mean, they don't even oversee the championship. The NCAA doesn't have anything to do with the playoff. Is it going to be Coaches Association? I just don't know who would implement that rule. To say you can't go anywhere, you can't be hired until after the whole season's over. Plus, you got other teams that aren't a part of the playoff that are going to go ahead and start trying to hire coaches. I know it frustrates Coach Saban. I've talked to him about it, but he also looks at it like this: is he's going to hire good people. He's going to hire people who want to be head coaches, who are equipped to be head coaches, and if they get those opportunities, and so be it. I mean, the thing he asked them all is, listen, I'll make the call for you, I'll help you, but just don't raid my staff. I think that's the thing he says to every one of them. I don't want you taking 3, 4, 5 people or whatever the number is off my staff. I think Sark's got a little bit easier this year, though, than say a Kirby Smart or Jeremy Pruitt, because he took the job after the semifinal game. So basically, you got 8 days, right? 8, 9 days. Recruiting is over with the early signing day. So really, Texas's signing class is pretty much already complete. So it's not like with Kirby and Jeremy, you had 2 games to get ready for. Plus, you had signing day. Back before the early signing day, you only had the 1 February signing day. So you had to get your staff together. You had to sign a whole class, and you had to get ready for 2 football games.
Always great talking with Chris Lowe from ESPN. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. And, guys, love having you with us to hang out. Our show's brought to you by Yuengling Lager, America's oldest brewery. And today's remote's presented by Screwball, the original peanut butter whiskey. Alabama takes on Ohio State at Hard Rock Stadium in the national championship game. It's broadcasting 7 o'clock. You can listen to it on Jocks. You can watch it on ESPN. Kyle Henderson, Chad Anderson, and me, Mick Gillespie. And, guys, again, our show's brought to you by these guys right here, Yuengling Lager. This one is for you. We're going to take a shot of Screwball, something special coming up. Chad's going to rejoin the show, and we're going to talk about this Alabama-Ohio State matchup, what we think's going to happen, and much more. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show rolls on. We'll be right back.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yuengling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
When it comes to protecting all your stuff, wouldn't it be great to have one place that protects it all? Here's some good news. Tuscaloosa and Northport Allstate agent Andrew Conifer is the only insurance agent you need to help keep tabs on protection for all your stuff. Everything from your home, car, boat, to your motorcycle, RV, snowmobile, and even ATV. Stop by Allstate agent Andrew Conifer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard or give Andrew a call at 205-722-9201. Are you in good hands?
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, football is fine art. Now at newlifeart.com, see Daniel A. Moore's new 2021 Crimson and White Fine Art Calendar, featuring 13 dynamic images of defining moments from the Saban era. As a special offer to listeners of this show, use coupon code ROLLTIDE for $5 off each calendar. To order yours, call 1-800-735-2787 or visit newlifeart.com today.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide.
Introducing Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Now available wherever beer is sold. PG Yuengling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casinos, Pearl River Resort properties.
Hey fam, this is Kyle Henderson with BamaInsider.com, reminding you to join Mick Gillespie and me right after the game on the Bama Insider YouTube channel for the Bama Insider postgame show. We'll break down the game with instant analysis, have Nick Saban's press conference, and take your calls and comments. That's the Bama Insider postgame show right after Alabama plays on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. See you there. Please join us tonight for the Bama Insider postgame show on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Roll Tide, roll.
Winter at Old Forge Distillery is the best time of year. Whiskey Wonderland has returned to the cocktail bar, and it's easy to get into the holiday spirit inside a beautiful Smoky Mountain winter scene. Finish your holiday shopping and enjoy festive cocktails like S'more Shine, Rosemary Maple Bourbon Sour, and the Cream Brulee. Looking for a gift for those hard-to-shop-for people? Old Forge Spirits and Swag make the perfect stocking stuffers. Stock up on the seasonal favorites like Peppermint Bark Cream and Chocolate Coconut Cream. Only available for a limited time. Old Forge Distillery, located at 170 Old Mill Ave in the heart of Old Mill Square in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. What is everybody? We're hanging out here. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. And look, as you guys watch or you listen, we're hanging out at Innisfree. Scoot over into the picture here. Get in here. We're going to do this right here for you guys. This is a remote that's brought to you by Screwball, and we've got Salty Nut right there. Salty Nut to you guys. Roll Tide. It's pretty good. It's salt on the rim of the shot glass with Screwball. All right, look. We're previewing Alabama and Ohio State. I got a chance to talk to Lance Taylor from the Jocks Roundtable. When we come back, after you guys watch this, it's going to be Chad and I and you. We're going to break down this game, Alabama and Ohio State. Joe Kyle Henderson, Chad Anderson, and Mick Gillespie. Love to have you with us today, whether you're watching on our YouTube channel, the Bama Insider YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Or maybe you're listening, and if you're doing that on Jocks 2 Radio, it's great to introduce our next guest, Lance Taylor. You guys know him, LT from the Jocks Roundtable. Also, he's the man behind Lance's Lock, and he's been joining us for our gambling segment all year long. And here we go, just one game this week, LT, but man, it's been great talking to you and hanging out this year, man. Really appreciate your insight.
Yeah, Mick, Happy New Year. And it's been a lot of fun jumping on you guys' show and being able to try to give you winners here and there. And, you know, we come to a conclusion of the college football season, man. It's been one of the more enjoyable seasons for me. I don't know about for you. It's lasted, forever compared to other seasons. And, you know, I know there's been a lot of adversity for a lot of these teams out there, man. But, I mean, we've got two undefeateds for back-to-back years now in Alabama and Ohio State going at it. And we've got the biggest total we've ever seen in the history of the college football playoff, sitting at 75.5 right now. And I'm just really excited about this game.
Yeah, really. I mean, like, who would have even thought that, you know, you would have an over that high? Alabama is a favorite in this game. Depending on where you get it, it's 8 or 7. Could that change at all between, you know, the time that we're talking and kickoff? I mean, could anything, you know, when they say that Jalen Waddle is playing, you know, they say, is there anything that could change that line?
Yeah, the only thing that would change that line, two factors, both quarterbacks. If Mac Jones wasn't going to play or Justin Fields wasn't going to play, the number would move. So actually, Mick, as we talk, it's crept up to 9 right now. So Alabama is a 9-point favorite, which is an extremely big number in this spot. But, yeah, the only way this number would move, even if Waddle comes out, and I don't know about you, I kind of expect Waddle to play. I don't know how many reps he's going to get or how many touches he'll get. But I think just based on what I've heard, he is going to at least give it a go. But I don't think that will affect the number at all.
Hanging out with LT from Lance's Lock and talking Alabama and Ohio State. All right, man, well, give us the breakdown of this game. What do you think is going to happen? You said it's 9 now, so I'm going to go that 9 is the number, and that number's been going up. It started out at 7, and now it's at 9. Does that tell us that Justin Fields is still injured? And what do you think about this game? Give us your pick.
Yeah, you know what I think is, if this matchup would have taken place before, if it would have been Alabama-Ohio State in the semifinals, before we saw what Ohio State did to Clemson, I think Alabama would have been a healthy 12 or 13-point favorite. to me, the only way Ohio State's able to win this game is Trey Sermon. And I go back and not patting myself on the back, but I had Ohio State not only covering against Clemson, I had them winning that game, and it was because of Trey Sermon. You look at the first 4 games this year, this is a kid that went for 58 a game, a little over 5 yards a carry, had 0 touchdowns. His last 3 games, 212 yards per game, over 9 yards a carry, and 4 touchdowns. He's been a difference maker, and he's been kind of that security blanket, taking the pressure off of Justin Fields. That offensive line was giving up 3 sacks a game. And now that you've got Sermon running wild, it's just opened everything out on the perimeter for Olave and Wilson. And Justin Fields really, was playing his best football against Clemson, going 385 and 6 touchdowns. So to me, if Trey Sermon can run the football effectively, I think Ohio State's got a shot not only to cover, but to win this game. I just don't think he's going to be able to, Mick. You look at Alabama's defense, they've only allowed over 200 yards one time rushing this year, and that was against Ole Miss back on October 10th. On the other side, Ohio State's rushed for 200-plus in every game this year. So I think Alabama's focal point will be slowing down Trey Sermon, make sure that Justin Fields is the guy that beats him, put a lot of pressure on him. I like Alabama. I know it's a big number, but I'm laying it here, man. I look at Ohio State's defense. That pass defense is 57th nationally, and I just think Devontae Smith is going to have a field day here. And Waddle would just be gravy if he's able to play in this game.
It's going to be a matchup of 2 blue bloods, but yeah, I mean, you were the one that was on this Ohio State Clemson game, and maybe that helps Alabama a lot because they're not going to be surprised by what Ohio State brings to the table. Tell us about Lance's Lock and what you got going on there. I know it's time to switch over from college football to NFL playoffs to college basketball. Bama's playing some good basketball, and also maybe the NBA too.
Yeah, we almost played Auburn this past weekend against Alabama. They were catching 5.5 and kind of stayed away from that game. A really entertaining game. And as you said, Alabama, 4-0 in conference play, best conference start since 86-87. But yeah, we give you everything. The NFL, college football, the NBA, college basketball. Once Major League Baseball gets here, it's $90. It's a flat fee. It's $3 a day. It's simple math. And man, we're very transparent. We're going to win for you. So jump on board every play, every day. It's only $90 a month. It's lanceslock.com. That's lanceslock.com.
Well, it's, again, been a pleasure hanging out with you. No more shows after today. But you know what? It's been a fun season no matter what happens today. And I appreciate you and Ryan Haney and everyone over at Jocks for the great help, man. Thank you.
Yeah, Mick, we've enjoyed having your show on the Jocks Airwaves, man. And I look forward to 2021, and we'll do it all over again.
Sounds like a plan.
Hey, Mick, you're on mute there, buddy. There we go.
Can you hear me now? Now you can hear me.
Now you're good, man.
That again. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. And with Chad Anderson, I'm Mick Gillespie, Trey Annity on the switches. I'm hanging out with you tonight from Innisfree and Tuscaloosa, getting ready for Alabama and Ohio State. I want to remind you that on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, 5 o'clock, Alabama watch party starts. I mean, that's way before the game. Trey and I are going to be at Rounders on the Strip. And then about, half hour before the game, we're going to play the entire Chris Lowe interview. You can catch what Chris had to say about this matchup and everything else. Then that's going to slide into Kyle's watch party, and then Kyle will be on after the game with the post-game comments where you'll take your calls and we'll break it down. And if Alabama wins, I might be floating around on the Strip, making videos, Chad. It's going to be awesome. All right, well, let's talk about this game, man. I mean, I feel like we've done everything but really get into this. We heard from Lance. He seems to think Alabama's going to be all right. And I don't want to tease people too bad, but just quickly, give me an initial thought, and then when we come back from break, we're really going to dig into this.
Initial thought is, how is Ohio State going to stop Alabama's offense? The one thing that Ohio State did show against Clemson in the Sugar Bowl is that their defensive line can be for real. And they showed that a couple of times in Big Ten play. I know you can laugh at the Big Ten. They didn't play that well this year. They didn't even play many games this year. But their defensive line is fresh. They're rested, and they looked good against Clemson. Even though Trevor Lawrence had a pretty good game against the Buckeyes, he was still scrambling around under pressure, under duress quite a bit. So I think that's one huge thing there. And then on the flip side, if I am Alabama on defense, I'm a little nervous about Trey Sermon. I know we beat him into the ground to this point, but look at what Notre Dame did in the run game on their touchdown drive in the second quarter. They marched down the field, and it took an 8-minute drive, and that kept Notre Dame in it a little bit in the first half. We all knew they weren't going to make it, but that's what happened. So the run game could be a problem if Alabama doesn't figure out how to stop that.
All very, very good points, Chad. Let me tell you about my friend Andrew Kniffer. Got these footballs right here. He's Andrew Kniffer, all-state agent in Northport, Tuscaloosa. He'll take care of you. He's a great guy, big football fan. He goes to a lot of the games, and a friend of the show and a great partner as well. And I want to tell you guys this, too. There's nothing better than getting over to Pearl River Resort and hanging out. I did it last week. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show is presented by Pearl River Resort and Casino. That's in Choctaw. Now's a great time to make your picks count. You can do that at the Timeout Sports Lounge and Sportsbook. Right now, with $50 you get $50 free play if you haven't been there in a year. So that's cool. And also, if you spend $50 at the casino, you get a round of golf at Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, which is the best course in Mississippi and one of the best courses. They call it the Augusta that you can play. It's that good for $30. So you can't beat that. It's really an awesome place. So check that out. There's a lot of other stuff, too. If you want to take the family, they've got a water park, mom and can go to the spa. You can golf and then, gamble at night. So it's pretty cool. And it's about an hour and a half from Tuscaloosa and about 2 hours and change from Birmingham. But it's a quick trip. And you don't run into a lot of traffic. That's always the thing that I hate is hitting the traffic. All right, we're going to talk Alabama and Ohio State. We're digging into this one when we come back. The Bama Insider Tailgate Show brought to you by Yuengling Lager returns right after this.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yuengling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Special purchase 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989. First come, first serve while they last. Tuscaloosa Hyundai has made a special purchase of new Tucsons starting at $19,989. All with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty, no charge. Over 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989.
It's why you drive home happy.
Exclusively at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the Bama Insider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
Switching your job is stressful. Switching your schools is painful. But switching your insurance to Allstate, it really couldn't be easier. At Allstate, you call one local agent who can assist you with all your policies and make your paperwork simple. Here in Tuscaloosa and Northport, Allstate agent Andrew Kniffer can help you protect everything from your home, car, boat, motorcycle, or even RV, ATV, and snowmobile. Stop by Andrew Kniffer's office today at 4705 McFarland Boulevard. Are you in good hands? Prices vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Do you consider yourself a black sheep, misfit, or screwball? If so, we've got the perfect drink for you. Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Screwball combines two of America's favorite, peanut butter and whiskey. Enjoy it neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. Screwball, the original most awarded peanut butter whiskey, is now available near you. Go to screwballwhiskey.com for more information. Enjoy responsibly.
Advertisement by Screwball Spirits LLC, San Diego, California. Whiskey with natural flavors, 35% alcohol by volume.
It's time to get back to the great outdoors, to making memories, to feeling like yourself again. The world may have slowed down, but here in Sevierville, Tennessee, we know that just means there's more time to enjoy it all. It's time to get back to the Smoky Mountains. And when getting there brings you back, you know you're in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here. Learn more about traveling safely at visitsevierville.com.
Welcome back to the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Number 1 Alabama versus number 3 Ohio State, but really it's 1 versus 2 because these are the last 2 teams alive. And our matchup segment today is powered by Bama Buggies. As you watch, and I know some of you guys are listening on Jocks 2 Radio, 100.5 Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, but some of you are watching on the Bama Insider YouTube channel, and we appreciate it. You're watching the basically the live radio production of the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Subscribe, give us the thumbs up, the like. We're closing on 50,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, and you guys have made this a hugely successful season, just like Alabama football. We're at Innisfree in Tuscaloosa. The remote's brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. We actually did a Salty Nuts shot, Chad. We did a Salty Nuts shot, which was, this right here. So it was Screwball and salt. Now let's look for Chad, and he just disappeared off of the screen. So we'll try to get him back. But anyway, look, let's talk about this matchup: Alabama versus Ohio State, and you're talking about these 2 teams playing for only the 5th time in program history. What's going to happen? Alabama is number 1 right now. Nobody really thinking about Ohio State, but they had the huge win over Clemson last time out, and they really bring in a lot of momentum into this contest with Alabama. So I'm looking at this matchup, and I feel like Alabama has got to establish the run. And I say that every week because I feel like that's a big part of it, is that you've got to be able to run the football and run it effectively. The second thing for the Crimson Tide is just not making the big mistakes. I mean, when they lost the championship game to Clemson, you remember Tua had that pick 6 right at the beginning of the game. When Alabama loses, it always feels like they go through this, this mistake thing, like a fumble or an interception early, and then kind of get out of their rhythm. For them, it's important to try to avoid that. And, and try to build off of the momentum of having success. And they've done it all year. Alabama's played at a very continuous level of excellence this entire season. That's what they're going to have to continue to do if they're going to win this football game against Ohio State. And for the Crimson Tide, it really comes down to the offensive line. being able to give Mac Jones time, Najee Harris a clean lane to run through, and obviously with Devontae and hopefully Alabama will also have Jalen Waddle back, that they'll have the momentum to really try to build on being successful and doing this thing with the weapons that they have. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to try to find Chad Anderson. He's disappeared. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Special purchase 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989. First come, first served while they last. Tuscaloosa Hyundai has made a special purchase of new Tucsons starting at $19,989. All with our exclusive 1,000,000-mile warranty, no charge. Over 70 Tucsons in Tuscaloosa starting at $19,989.
It's why you drive home happy.
Exclusively at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, corner of Skyland and Hargrove.
R&R Cigars invites you to come down to the Cigar Mansion. Located in the historic Maxwell Mansion downtown, over 1,000 cigars and over 100 bourbons await you. The Cigar Mansion is your home for all sports. Outsource your man cave to R&R. Get a cigar, bourbon, and then watch the tide roll. Tell them the Bama Insider Tailgate Show sent you, and you'll get a cigar and an Angel's Envy bourbon for $10. You can't find a better place to relax and watch the game than the Cigar Mansion R&R Cigars. R&R Cigars, 2703 6th Street, downtown Tuscaloosa, by the Home 2 Suites.
The city of Tuscaloosa offers you the combination of great adventures and great overnight accommodations. From exciting sports to unbelievable history, you'll find it all in Tuscaloosa. Here for you, here for your whole family. Go hiking or mountain biking, try paddleboarding or kayaking, witness our civil rights trail or an ancient Native American city. Eat our barbecue or hamburgers, enjoy our nightlife or music scene. And when you plan your Tuscaloosa getaway, plan to stay a while. Head to visittuscaloosa.com for your free visitor's guide.
Bama Buggies, proud to support the Crimson Tide, always a superstar lineup. And what a lineup at Bama Buggies, one of the nation's largest volume power sports dealers featuring the brands you love and trust. Polaris, Sea-Doo, Slingshot, $54.99. All the fun you can stand, starting at just $54.99. Don't wait, the best seats in the house on sale now at Bama Buggies, 2502 Skyland Boulevard East.
Get in on the action at Pearl River Resort. New members get $50 of free play on us. Or if you haven't played with us since 2018, we're inviting you to come back and play. $50 on us. See Players Club for details.
Where's our sports fans? Place your bets now at the Sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. From the first pitch to the final down, the toss-up to the knockout, and everything in between, we'll keep you in action all season long. Play, win, repeat. Only at Silver Star and Golden Moon Casino's Pearl River Resort properties.
Experience the true spirit of Tuscaloosa at Hotel Indigo, downtown's first waterfront hotel overlooking the Black Warrior River. Hotel Indigo is perfectly located near a myriad of unique shops, restaurants, and the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. You rolling with the tide? Hotel Indigo is less than a mile from the University of Alabama. The lookout bar on the roof of Hotel Indigo is the best place in Tuscaloosa to enjoy great views, appetizers, and spirits with friends. Book Hotel Indigo now and enjoy the best of Tuscaloosa.
It's time to get back to the great outdoors, to making memories, to feeling like yourself again. The world may have slowed down, but here in Sevierville, Tennessee, we know that just means there's more time to enjoy it all. It's time to get back to the Smoky Mountains. And when getting there brings you back, you know you're in Sevierville, Tennessee. Your Smokies start here. Learn more about traveling safely at visitsevierville.com.
This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show with Chad Anderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. Great hanging out with you, getting you ready for Alabama and Ohio State. Hey, it's a great time to tailgate, and it's a great time to go by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. The Elantra, the Sonata, or an SUV like the Tucson, tailgating does not get any better. Don't forget, the watch party starts at 5 o'clock, and you can watch it on the Bama Insider YouTube channel. It'll go all the way through the game, and then after, Kyle will take your calls. Alabama and Ohio State. All right, Chad, we got some time here to chew on this matchup a little bit. Let's just start with Chris Owens. You know, Chris Owens is going to see a lot of this Buckeye defensive line. The Buckeyes defense against Chris Owens, who's filling in for Landon Dickerson, who was injured.
Yeah, and again, we mentioned it earlier in the show, but it's going to be one of those where Ohio State's defensive front, to me, that's the best part of their defense. They had Trevor Lawrence scrambling around, moving in the pocket, moving out of the pocket, sometimes just running for his life, to be honest. So, we talked about Notre Dame. The only option they really had, in my opinion, was to try to blitz up the A-gaps over Chris and try to jump in there and cause some problems for Mac. And it wasn't really working out because the one time that they did get to him, Mac was able to spin left out of the pocket. I forgot who he hit, probably Smith, but he hit somebody on the sideline for a quick pass. So Mac Jones really is aware of those types of situations coming through. But Kyle said it last week. It's not like Chris is a stranger to being in the lineup. He's actually filled in at other positions across the line this year. Took over 50 snaps against Tennessee for the Crimson Tide. So it's not a complete fall off, like some people would say. And Ohio State's defensive line, it will be a very good test. But the way that he's been moving around, and you mentioned it early in the show, the process is next man up. And so far, that's what he's been able to do.
It's Chad Anderson. I'm Mick Gillespie. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. We're live hanging out at Innisfree on the Strip in Tuscaloosa, Alabama and Ohio State, the national championship game. And our remote's brought to you by Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. They hooked it up. Chad, we had the salty nut shot. I know you're a big fan of that. Those salty
I
nuts.
did see that, yeah.
This is what's left of the salty nuts right now. All right, look. The matchup that Alabama really wants to exploit is their wide receivers against the Buckeyes DBs.
Yeah, if you look at, again, we talked about this earlier, Ohio State is usually known as DBU. They send people to the NFL from their secondary, and they always do such a tremendous job at the pro level. But when you look at this year's team, it's not the same. And Ohio State is giving up more points, even though they've only played 7 games at this point. They're giving up more points. Their defense is not as solid. I think all of us were shocked when you go back and look at, say, an Indiana team that put up 35 points against Ohio State and how their defense just kind of struggled a little bit, limped along, I guess is the best way. And that's in the secondary. But you can't do that when you have the Heisman winner, Devontae Smith, Slim Reaper, as everyone likes to call him. You can't do that with Jalen Waddle, who, whether or not he's 100%, just 17 being on the field, being between the hashes, that's going to be something that the Buckeyes have to watch out for. You have Najee coming out of the backfield. You have Mechie, who has been an unbelievable number 3 man to start the year, has stepped up into the 2 slot. You've got 2 good tight ends with Forrestall and with Billingsley. Billingsley, when's the last time you saw a tight end return kicks? Crazy, right? That shows his athletic ability. So to me, that's really the story. If Ohio State's defense in the secondary can somehow, and nobody else has done it, but if they can figure out how to slow down the receiving core, they'll have a shot. But again, they'll be doing something nobody else has done all year long.
Great to have you on Jocks 2 Radio or on YouTube TV. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show. Bama Insider, guys, is the Alabama rival site, and we appreciate all of you. It was, the show so far today has been really great. We had Andrew Bone with Devontae Smith, 0.20, right? The second
2.0. Yeah.
2.0. Sorry, 2.0. Yeah, but the opposite of how I said it. But this is a guy who is that? He was a Ohio State-Alabama battle, and the Crimson Tide got him. He's going to be a DB next year. Sabone got a chance to talk with him. We heard from Chris Lowe from ESPN. Kyle Henderson joined us at the beginning of the show. It's been a lot of fun. We heard from LT, from the Jocks Roundtable. And now Chad and I are just kind of riffing on this Bama-Ohio State game. All right, here's another matchup to keep an eye on, Chad. Justin Fields versus Alabama's defense. I think he just froze out. But Justin Fields versus Alabama's defense, that's a really big matchup for the Crimson Tide. Chad, I see you're back now. Because Justin Fields showed us in the Clemson game just how good he is. Alabama's defense has had a couple of bad games this year, but they've also had some really good games.
Yeah, Justin Fields, the question is, how healthy is he? We don't know. I mean, there were some of the kicks around Twitter, which we all know how Twitter goes, but people wondering the whole COVID thing in Ohio State and delaying and Fields getting healthy and all these conspiracies. But we don't know how good Justin Fields is going to be from a health standpoint. How many hits can he take in a game, even if he can go, and he's going to go, but how many hits can he take? How many times does Bama have to get to him? But I will say this, he looked as good in the Sugar Bowl from a just accuracy perspective as I've ever seen Justin Fields. He's always been the guy who created for himself, or his receivers would get open because they're just 5 stars and 4 stars all over the field. And he could scramble, create his own, and didn't have to make those pinpoint accurate throws. But against Clemson, Mick, you saw some of those. That was a tight window that he was trying to fit the ball into, and was doing it every single time and just loading it up and dropping dimes, dropping it in the bucket all over the field. So if that Justin Fields shows up, then Alabama's going to be in trouble, because the game is just different. And defenses don't stop offenses like they used to. It's just not the same anymore. And you look at Bama, I know people want to talk about that stretch of games where they held people to basically no points. But when you look at who they were playing Tennessee, playing Mississippi State, playing Kentucky, those weren't teams putting up big-time numbers. Playing Auburn wasn't an offensive powerhouse. But then they play Florida, which we knew would score points. Florida did score points. So that's my fears. You gotta be prepared to get into a shootout in this game.
So what are your key matchups that if I didn't mention it?
Well, one stat that really stuck out to me a lot, I go back to the Notre Dame game and how Notre Dame ran the ball effectively on that second quarter drive against Alabama. It was an 8-minute drive, 15, 16 plays, scored a touchdown, did it by running the football. It's very frustrating if you're an old school Alabama fan, because Bama would take pride in stopping the run. Well, now look at Ohio State's numbers against Clemson. Ohio State ran the ball 61% of the time against the Clemson defense. I'm not saying Clemson's defense is as good as Alabama's, but they're not a bad defense. They're not terrible by any means. So if Ohio State ran it 44 times against Clemson and had that much success, and total offense was over 600 yards and they scored 49, Bama's going to have to figure out how to stop that run while also watching the Justin Fields factor, because that was the thing that was even probably more frustrating with Notre Dame. Ian Book is not Justin Fields, and Notre Dame still ran the ball. So if Ohio State gets the ground game going, that'll be cause for concern.
Hey, Chad Anderson, I'm Mick Gillespie. This is the Bama Insider Tailgate Show, brought to you in part by Hotel Indigo. Next time you make your visit to Tuscaloosa, make it memorable and stay at Hotel Indigo. That's where I'm staying right now. What a gorgeous place, too. Downtown, right on the river. You can see the bridge right across the stream from City Cafe. You know, all you Tuscaloosa folks, you know what I'm talking about. You spent time at Alabama. You waited in line for those Friday chicken livers. Maybe it was chicken fried steak. I don't know. Chad, it's time to give the score prediction. We're at the end of the show right now. What do you think? What do you got? Ohio State by 10?
Don't bait me into that one, man. I see what you try to do after a salty nut or two over there at Innisfree. So don't try to bait me into that. I've been going back and forth on this one quite a bit. I do think Alabama will win, but unfortunately, I think it's a little bit like the Florida game. I think it's back and forth. I think Bama just kind of scores as they want to. And I don't think Ohio State will be able to stop Alabama, but I do think the Buckeyes will make it a little bit more of a suspense game than what the Gators did. I'm going actually over the total. I cannot believe that it's going to go over 75.5, but that's what I've got. I go Bama 45, Ohio State 41, and the Crimson Tide claims their 18th national championship.
Yeah, look, I think this is a scary matchup because I think that this Ohio State team's really good, and they have the potential. They have the weapons to beat Alabama. The game that Alabama needs should look a lot like last year's national championship, where they're going to give up some points, but they just got to get locked in and score and score and score. And that's what we saw Joe Burrow and company do, really pressure Justin Fields to have to play from behind. And that's when the secondary can do some things, pick off some passes, and Bama could put them away. You know, I'm a little worried about not having Landon Dickerson just because everybody loves him so much and he keeps everyone together. But at the end of the day, this team's been on a mission since the very start of this season. They wanted to play. I have nothing but respect for Ohio State. I love the fact that Justin Fields was the guy that was just begging the Big Ten to play football when they didn't want to. You know, so I'm glad that they're here, but I think that Alabama's just going to have to outscore them. I think Nick Saban's just got to put his foot on the gas tomorrow, and I think I'm looking at 63-35. I just think they're going to score a ton of points. There's not going to be a lot of defense. Bama's going to have to score early and often. It'll look a lot different than the Notre Dame game. That's the kind of game Alabama, I think, could win.
I will say one person we haven't talked about enough, and continue to check out BamaInsider.com for the latest, but Malachi Moore and his health and playing. So keep it locked in on the site, but Malachi Moore will be a big contributor on defense if he sees the field. And that, again, secondary and defense, he has been even as a true freshman, such a huge presence on the field for Alabama this year, which is insane to think that a true freshman could have that kind of an impact. But watch for number 13 and if he gets playing time.
This has been a lot of fun. I got to give a couple thank yous. I mean, this is the last show that we're going to do, and I got to start with Yingling Lager. You know, Chad, at the COVID, I'm in spring training. I worked 17 years to call a Major League Baseball game. I get to do that on television for the Cubs, and then, you know, I've got more games planned, and COVID hits, and I get sent home, and I'm trying to find toilet paper, you know, like after working so hard to get there. And I've been hosting the pregame shows for Alabama since really when I was in college, you know, and used to do them too after I left on the college station. But I worked for the radio station, or really with the radio station in Tuscaloosa. And you know, after all those years working there, I get an email from the guy that runs the station basically telling me that they're not going to use, that I'm not doing it anymore. They're going to use some in-house guys or whatever. My own show. And I had to come up with what I was going to do. And I got a call from this guy, Bradley, who said, you got to keep going, man. And so I had a meeting with Yingling, and it was I felt like Tom Cruise. Remember that movie that Tom Cruise was the agent in, Jerry Maguire? And Yingling was the secretary. They came and they're like, look, we're with you. We're with you, Mick. You're going to do this. We're with you. And then I end up talking to Andrew Bone, and I team up with Kyle Henderson. And that's been you guys can tell. Kyle and I, man, love the guy. Can't get enough Kyle. He's so good at his job. He's fun to work with. It's been great, just this combination. And what I did was I said, hey, look, I'm going to put this show on the radio. I want it to be on internet too. And that's how we got here. And then eventually, BamaInsider hired me. But all of this wouldn't have happened without the support that I've gotten from Yingling Lager. So I just can't thank them enough, Rachel, and and everyone, Pat Pacunis, all these people that make this a really special brand. And what's cool about Yingling is that it's an American company. You know, I'm I know the owner. I know the people that work there. The guys out on a forklift, Dick Yingling, with everyone else. They're just normal people. You know, it's not some company from overseas. But when I needed help to keep this show going and make it even better, they were the first ones on board. And I got to thank so many other people for doing the same thing and joining and sponsoring this show, and Jocks Radio, Ryan Haney and LT up in Birmingham for saying, hey, we'll put this thing on the air. And it has been a mega, mega success. And I just can't thank everyone enough. I mean, Pearl River Resort and Ryan over there and Reagan with R&R and Trip and Scotty Mack over at Rounders, Trip here at Innisfree. And I mean, I could go through all these different people, but at the end of the day, there's so many people to thank. Most importantly, I want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for watching the show, for supporting us and being part of what's really turned out to be an awesome experience. I hope Alabama wins the football game, but I can tell you this for sure. We won the broadcast this year. It's been an absolute thrill and a blessing at the same time to get to do this and be part of something so special. Chad, thanks for joining us and doing the show. For Kyle Henderson and Trey Annity, special thanks to Chris Lowe from ESPN, from LT for joining us, and everyone else that made this experience very, very special. Roll Tide, everybody. Alabama and Ohio State are coming up. That game kicks off at 7. YouTube, BamaInsider, 5 o'clock. We're going to start our watch party early from Rounders, and we're going to keep it going all night so you can watch the game and hang out with us at the same time. I'm Mick Gillespie. Roll Tide, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
The Floribama Beach Bar is open at full capacity with no COVID restrictions. It's time to slip on back to Orange Beach for multiple stages of live music daily, free bingo Monday through Friday, and football watching all season long on tons of TVs. There's never been a better time to enjoy sunsets from the beachfront bars with a famous bushwhacker. Floribama is one of the top beach bars in the world, and under Florida guidelines has no COVID restrictions. Planning on a bachelor or bachelorette party? Then come do it on the line. Find out more at floribama.com. Experience the true spirit of Tuscaloosa at Hotel Indigo, downtown's first waterfront hotel overlooking the Black Warrior River. Hotel Indigo is perfectly located near a myriad of unique shops, restaurants, and the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater. You rolling with the tide? Hotel Indigo is less than a mile from the University of Alabama. The Lookout Bar on the roof of Hotel Indigo is the best place in Tuscaloosa to enjoy great views, appetizers, and spirits with friends. Book Hotel Indigo now and enjoy the best